docket number 20-514FH. And this was the time set for a pretrial. I'm informed that it will be a plea, is that correct?
Yes, Your
That's
Honor.
correct. That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Henry, I have your address on Beach Street. Is that still current?
No, ma'am.
Can you give me your current address?
It's 4221 North Grand River, Lansing, Michigan.
What was the street?
North
Oh,
Grand
North
River.
North Grand River, got it.
And it's apartment 11, Lansing, Michigan, 48906.
Thank you. And how far did you go in school?
I graduated, Your Honor.
Uh-huh. And do you work right now?
I do.
Where at?
I'm still at Jimmy John's.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Henry, you have the right to an attorney. You are sitting there with your attorney, Mr. Cornish. And so this is a plea to the charge. Is that correct, Mr. Cornish?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And would you read that then, please, Ms. Allen?
In the people of the state of Michigan versus Virgil Henry, file 20-514-FH, State of Michigan, County of Ingham. In the name of the people of the state of Michigan, the prosecuting attorney for this county appears before the court and informs the court that on or about January 15th, 2020, at 5436 South Cedar, City of Lansing, Ingham County, the defendant did in count 1 knowingly retain, knowingly possess, knowingly secrete, or knowingly use a financial transaction device without the consent of Ursula Godinez, the device holder, contrary to Michigan law. This is a felony punishable by up to 4 years and/or $5,000 and was committed against the peace and dignity of the state of Michigan.
Mr. Henry, you're being charged here with illegal use of a financial transaction device. That is a felony punishable by up to 4 years in prison. Have you had enough time to talk about this charge with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand the charge against you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions at all about what we're doing this afternoon?
No, Your Honor.
And how do you want to plead?
Guilty, ma'am.
If your plea of guilty is accepted by this court, it means you won't have a trial of any kind, and you'll be giving up the rights that go along with a trial. I'm going to go through those with you. That means you'll be giving up the right to a trial by jury, or if you didn't want trial by jury, trial by judge. It also means you'd be giving up your right to be presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty, and also the right to have the prosecuting attorney prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You'll be giving up the right to have the witnesses against you appear at the trial and to be able to cross-examine them, and also the right to have this court order any witnesses that you might have to appear at the trial. You're giving up your right to remain silent at the trial and not to have your silence used against you, or alternatively, your right to testify at the trial if you wanted to. Also, some things you need to know about appeal. One is that when you plead guilty, you don't get an automatic right to appeal. Instead, you have to ask the higher court to hear your case. They have to agree to do it. And then also, there are many issues that you cannot even appeal when you plead guilty like you could if you had gone to trial and got convicted. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And also, if I accept your plea, you can't come back later on and try to say that the plea was the result of some promise or threat that no one told me about today. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
It also means you cannot come back later on and try to say that it really wasn't your own choice to plead guilty today. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there a plea agreement, Ms. Allen?
There is, Your Honor. In exchange for the defendant's successful plea and sentence to count 1 on this file, 20-514-FH, the people agree to dismiss in full file 20-525-FH, also pending in this court. The defendant agrees to pay restitution on both files. And because this offense did happen before he was placed on probation with this court on his other offenses, we do agree pursuant to People versus Killebrew, he received no upfront jail on this case just to continue on his current probation.
And Mr. Cornish, is that a full and complete statement?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
And Mr. Henry, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you agree with it?
Yes, ma'am.
There's an agreement about your sentence, and that is that you would receive no upfront jail time. If for some reason I decided not to go along with that, I would tell you before I sentenced you, and I would give you a chance, if you wanted to take back this plea and start all over. You got all that?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything else that has not been said here right now in court in order to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone used any threats?
No, Your Honor.
Is this your own choice to plead guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you doing it because you believe you are in fact guilty of this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then tell me what you did on or about January 15th of this year.
On that date, I received a late phone call and was making a late delivery to the hotel. I believe it was in East Lansing. And I was typing in the credit card number on my phone. And as I typed it in, my phone stores it and saves it. And I used that same credit card later on in the week to pay my car note.
You paid your car
Yes, ma'am.
payment? Okay. And you had no permission to use that credit card number, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And you used it for your own personal use?
Yes, ma'am.
And so that would have been with an intent to defraud or cheat someone, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and this happened in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has the court complied with MCR 6.302, Ms. Allen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Cornish?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you aware of any promises, threats, or inducements other than those already placed on the record, Ms. Allen?
No, Your Honor.
Mr.
No, Your Honor.
Cornish?
No, Your Honor.
The court finds the plea is understandingly and voluntarily made without undue influence, threats, or promises of leniency. It is an accurate plea. It's supported by the testimony. The plea is accepted. Sentencing is, Mr. Cornish, how does Monday, November 2nd at 3:30 sound?
Monday, November 2nd at, you said 3:30, Judge?
Yes.
That sounds perfect.
Okay, then if it's okay with your client, and you can either let me know now or later, if he approves, we can do the sentencing via Zoom as well.
You just want to do the same thing that day?
Yes.
Just come here. That's fine, Your Honor.
Okay, very good then. I'll just ask him to confirm that on the day of sentencing, but we'll see you then on Monday, November 2nd at 3:30. Mr. Henry, you'll need to make sure the probation department interviews you. I assume that's not going to be real difficult because you're already in contact with them. But they need to interview you before that sentencing date to make a new report that I'll use for sentencing. So
Okay.
just make sure that happens, okay? Thank you, and your bond is continued, and you're all set.
Your Honor, I also have the advice of rights if you'd like me to email that over that you signed today after reviewing them.
Well, I did them
Okay,
verbally, but you can send it, like I said.
whatever you'd
belt
like.
and
I just
suspenders-
was making an
Belt
offer.
and suspenders, doesn't hurt.
All right, thanks, Judge.
Thank you.